Lawler, he says it's not double taxation because New York State's
Go.
not building federal roads or the Pentagon. Go.
Well, first of all, New York is a donor state. We send more money down to the federal government than we get back. States like South Carolina, for instance, I've heard Lindsey Graham rail against SALT. South Carolina gets more money from the federal government than they send in tax revenue to the federal government. Across this country, you can name different programs, you can name different issues, quote unquote subsidies. Okay. And if, for instance, ethanol out in Iowa, if we want to start talking about ethanol tax credits, we can. I look at it very simply. New York,
Huh?
yes, high tax state. California, high tax state. Those are choices that the voters in those states make. I choose to believe we need to lower our tax burden. We need to lower our spending in New York. I have long advocated for that. But I fundamentally believe that New Yorkers should not be penalized by the federal government simply because they live in a high tax state. The SALT deduction had been in effect for over 100 years. And it was used as a to pay for other provisions of the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act. I would have opposed it had I been there. A number of my New York colleagues did oppose it. Where we are today is different than where were in 2017, which is to say our majority is smaller. It is much more dependent on New York and California members. And so we have a say and we have a seat at the table. And this is one of the single biggest issues impacting our constituents and our states. And I'm not going to apologize for fighting for it. 50% of constituents in my district used to itemize their deductions before 2017. It's now down to 18 because of the $10,000 cap on SALT. So it is not just about the rich. And you are right about one thing, by the way. AOC and folks like her are opposed to lifting the cap on SALT because they do believe it is a tax on the rich. And that lifting the cap is going to provide a tax break for the rich. But I can tell you, the cop and the teacher that live in my district, they are absolutely impacted by this. We live in a high tax area. My property taxes in Westchester and Rockland counties are the top two highest property tax counties in America. So this is not just about the rich. This is very much about the middle class and the working class. And that's why I'm fighting so hard for it. We are negotiating right now on a number. I'm not asking for unlimited because I understand there are other aspects of this that would come back. For instance, the alternative minimum tax coming back would be devastating across the country. It would impact 7 million people. So we're trying to balance all of this and come up with a number that is fair, that addresses, the concern that I have and others, while not necessarily providing unlimited to the uber wealthy.